In the dead of night, with only a phone and a network of trusted allies, Lisa Montgomery does what governments cannot. She crosses borders, evades cartels, and liberates people from modern-day slavery. This is her story. The night air was thick and heavy. It clung to a small house in the American South. Inside, a young woman scrubbed floors. She was not a guest. She was not family. She was a ghost in someone else's life. Her days were a blur of work, from sunrise to long after sunset. Her boss watched her every move. He held her passport. He held her papers. He held her very identity in a locked drawer. He told her she owed him. He told her she could never leave. Trapped in a cage with invisible bars, she felt her hope begin to fade. She was alone, silenced by fear, in a country she did not know. One evening, her phone buzzed softly. A message from an unknown number glowed on the screen. It was short. It was simple. It was a lifeline. "We can help," it read. "Are you safe to talk?" With trembling fingers, she typed a single word. "Yes." That message did not come from the police. It was not from a government agency. It was from a woman named Lisa, an ordinary person who saw an extraordinary injustice and refused to look away. She had built a network, a modern passage to freedom, inspired by the courage of Harriet Tubman. Lisa was not born a rescuer. She was a mother. She was a neighbor. She was a friend. But she saw the shadows of modern slavery creeping into the corners of our world. She saw people treated like property. She saw their labor stolen. She saw their spirits crushed. She heard their silent screams and knew she had to do something. She understood that this was not a problem for someone else to solve. It was a problem for all of us. She decided she would answer the call. She would reach into the darkness. She would offer a hand. Her work is a testament to the power of one person's conviction, a story of quiet bravery in a very loud world. This is not a story about a superhero. It is the story of a real woman who chose to act. It is the story of a system built on trust and courage. It is about the deep, human need for freedom and the lengths some will go to help others find it. The first rescue is the one that changes you forever. For Lisa, it started with that one cautious text message, a yes full of fear and a sliver of hope. That single word set in motion a chain of events that would redefine her life's purpose. The young woman who had answered was terrified. She shared her story in hushed tones, in messages sent late at night when her captor was asleep. She gave Lisa permission to help, a sacred trust placed in the hands of a stranger. Lisa knew she had to move with absolute precision. One wrong step, one careless word, could close this window of opportunity forever. With a small, trusted team, Lisa began to build a plan. It was not a grand, dramatic escape. It was a series of small, careful steps. It was a quiet car, waiting at a precise time. It was a route planned to avoid suspicion. The moment the young woman stepped into that car, she took her first breath of free air in years. She was driven not to a police station, but to a safe, quiet place. A place where she could finally rest without fear. A place where the door had a lock on the inside, and she was the only one with the key. The chains were broken not with a clang, but with a quiet click of a car door. In that safe house, the real work of healing began. They brought her warm food. They brought her a phone with a new, safe number. They brought her clothes that were her own. They connected her with a lawyer who could explain her rights. They connected her with a professional who spoke her language and understood her trauma. They arranged for medical care to address the neglect she had endured. Most importantly, they gave her space. They gave her time to sleep, to cry, to simply be. They listened without judgment when she was ready to talk. They sat in silence with her when she was not. The day the young woman smiled, a true, unguarded smile, was the day Lisa knew she could never turn back. The woman's tears of relief were a baptism. They washed away any doubt Lisa had about the path she was on. Seeing the light return to someone's eyes, watching them stand a little taller, hearing their voice grow stronger, that was the fuel. That single rescue was not just an event, it was an awakening. It was the moment a quiet impulse to help hardened into an unbreakable resolve. It proved that freedom was possible, and it made Lisa promise herself that she would keep opening that door again and again. Lisa's network is not a formal organization with a fancy headquarters. It is a web of human connection, built on trust and a shared sense of duty. It operates in the shadows, not for secrecy's sake, but for safety's. The work begins with technology. Lisa uses secure messaging apps. End-to-end encryption protects identities. Every communication is handled with extreme care. Digital footprints are minimized. This initial contact is a fragile thread. Lisa's priority is to make sure it does not break or lead danger back. From there, the network springs into action. A collage of volunteers from all walks of life. They are drivers who will travel miles on a moment's notice. They are lawyers who offer their expertise pro bono. They are social workers who connect survivors with long-term support. They are ordinary people who open their homes, safe houses. Every volunteer knows the risks, and every one of them steps up anyway. Safety is the golden rule that governs every single action. Lisa is fiercely protective of the details. She never shares names, photos, or locations on social media. Boasting about a success could jeopardize the next operation or endanger a survivor. She drills this principle into every volunteer. The work is not about getting credit. It is about getting people to safety. The network is designed to be decentralized. It is a system of quiet helpers, each playing their part. A call for help, a response, a rescue. But beneath that surface lies a deep well of careful, painstaking work. This work comes with a price, a heavy one that Lisa pays every day. The danger is real and constant. She has received threats, veiled, direct, from those who profit from human misery. These are people who see her not as a helper, but as a thief stealing their property. She lives with a low hum of fear, a constant awareness that a wrong move could bring harm to her family, harm to the people she is trying to save. She has had to change her routines, sleep in different places, and look over her shoulder. This is not a job she clocks out of at 5 o'clock. It is a 24/7 reality that demands vigilance and sacrifice. The financial cost is immense and unrelenting. Funds that could have gone to a mortgage, a retirement fund, or her children's education. Every rescue has a budget. Gas for the volunteer driver, a bus ticket for a cross-country journey, a deposit for a safe apartment, the cost of a new phone to sever ties with the past, doctor's bills, legal retainers. Lisa fundraises quietly among trusted friends, but often the need is immediate, and she covers it herself. She chooses to invest in human freedom, knowing it leaves her own future less secure. The true measure of this work is not in the risks taken, but in the lives reclaimed. There is the story of Maria, who was forced to work in a private home for almost nothing, her every moment controlled. Today, after being connected with legal aid, she has a job with fair pay and regular hours. She is taking night classes to become a nursing assistant. "I can see my children now," she wrote in a letter to Lisa. "I can laugh with them. I feel like a mother again, not a machine." Then there is Javier, lured with the promise of a good construction job. Passport taken, wages withheld. He was trapped, unable to speak the language, and terrified of authorities. Through Lisa's network, he found a pro bono lawyer. He now works for a reputable company. He sends money home to his family.
In a short emotional voicemail, he said, "For the first time in years, I can sleep through the night. I am not afraid anymore. Thank you for helping me find my life again."
These are not just success stories. They are stories of resurrection. These voices paint a picture of what freedom truly means. It is more than just escaping a bad situation. It is the chance to rebuild, to heal, to dream again. Breaking the physical chains is only the first step. True freedom is a much longer journey, and Lisa's network understands this deeply. It is not enough to simply remove someone from a dangerous environment. A person who has been exploited needs a foundation on which to build a new life. That is why the work extends far beyond the initial rescue. It is about providing holistic care, restoring dignity, and empowering survivors for the long road ahead. The first priority is often health and well-being. Many survivors have been denied medical or dental care for years. They suffer from malnutrition, physical injuries, and the deep psychological wounds of trauma. Lisa's network connects them with doctors, dentists, and mental health professionals who specialize in trauma-informed care. These practitioners offer their services for free or at a reduced cost. It is about mending the body and the soul, giving people the strength they need to move forward. A warm bed and a hot meal are just the beginning. Sustained care is the bridge to a stable future. Alongside healthcare, legal support is paramount. They help survivors understand their options, apply for visas available to victims of trafficking, and navigate the court system. Lisa's story is one of incredible courage, but she is the first to say this fight is bigger than one person or one network. The fight against human trafficking requires all of us. It requires our attention, our voices, and our support. While direct intervention is risky and best left to trained experts, there are powerful, safe, and legal ways for you to make a profound difference. You can be a part of the solution. You can help open a door for someone who feels trapped in the dark. The most important thing you can do is support the legitimate, established organizations that are on the front lines of this battle every day. Start by educating yourself and others. Learn the signs of human trafficking, which can be subtle. They can be present in restaurants, nail salons, farms, and private homes in your own community. Awareness is the first step toward action. Share what you learn with your friends, family, and community. When we all know what to look for, we create a world with fewer places for traffickers to hide. Support policies and politicians who are committed to strengthening anti-trafficking laws, protecting workers' rights, and providing robust support for survivors. Give what you can to reputable anti-trafficking organizations. Organizations like the Polaris Project, which operates the National Human Trafficking Hotline, 888-373-78888, and RAIN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, provide critical services and are worthy of your support.